Really, really ready? Alright, we're gonna sing a little song that's gonna bring them out here. I want you to rock with me, let them hear you, New Orleans. Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen from New Orleans, I bring you Jensen, Ackles, and Padalecki. What's up, Nola? I know.
Maybe do some cardio.
I don't know who was that for, but I love you. Wherever you are. Well, howdy, y'all.
How's it going, Robo? It's going really well. It's going really well. I'm in such a great mood because of this
little
the catwalk, man. I can just go out and I need to do this.
Rob Benedict sporting our Jared Padalecki sporting our new summer line of plaid known as Winchester.
And Jensen Ackles,
The one, the only way.
Someone's done this before.
Listen, I did some Sears catalog modeling back in the day.
I clearly didn't.
I know how to point to something that's not there.
We're right here.
Well, and laugh at nothing.
It's good. Yeah, that too.
It's a good move. It's a good move. All right, guys, have fun. I'll get out of your way.
Thank you, brother. Thanks, my man. Thank you, Bob. This is a really cool room.
No.
It is a really cool room. It is a really cool room. I think y'all are some cool fucking people, so I think it all works out. Although there's a lot of empty seats here today. Did you not? I don't look at those. Did you not invite your family? No, they're on the way. They got stuck. Got it. Okay. In the thunderstorm. Well, we are happy to be here. We got any New Orleans natives here? Who that? This is one of my favorite cities on the planet, so I'm very excited to be back, and I love this town. So thanks for having us.
You're welcome.
We love you all. All right. Well, thank you all for waiting. I think I'll blame myself. I'm a little jet lagged, so I'm moving through the day a little bit slower. But
We're also just older, bro.
True. Also true. Tears. All right.
I had real quick, speaking of being older, I had a senior moment that you all could appreciate. I was taking kids to school the other day, and In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins comes on the radio.
You turned around, didn't you?
And my daughter's like, can we change? I'm like, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
Driver picks the music.
And we were at a stoplight, and here I was like, wait, it's coming. Just wait, it's coming. I'm like, hold on, what, Dad? I'm like, wait! And then the drum solo hit, and it's like, goo 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 goo. You know that drum solo? Hit it. So we're stopped, and I do a big like, da 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 da, and I threw my neck out.
He means just telling that story right now. He just threw his
You see how gingerly I was doing that, by the way? I still have some PTSD about it. Like, not kidding, like, I drove then the rest of the ride, just like, I seriously, it just went out on me. Worth it.
Speaking of senior moment, we were, when Cliff and I were in Poland last week for USO, we did the ACFT. Anybody serve in here? Thank you for your service. So we did the Army certification fitness training, and it was like the second day we were there, 8 a.m., it's still pretty cold in Poland, and there are these like, 25-year-old jacked up Army people like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. This is called like the sprint, drag, carry. You sprint there, you come back, you drag the sled that has 100-something pounds, then you drag it back, you have to cross the line, then you carry the kettlebells, and then you do like a side-by-side shuffle, then you sprint again.
I feel like you lost me in sprint, the first one.
Yeah, basically, honestly. And then it went to the deadlift portion, and my knee's a little jacked, but I was like, I can't say no. Like, I'm in Poland, all these guys.
I'm a man.
I'm gonna do it. And so, basically, day one of being there, I tweaked my lower back a little bit, and I was like, come on. I did, though, out of frustration alone, the last part is you have to do a plank for like a minute, 15 or something to qualify. And I was like, I'm just gonna stay here until I die. Like, I have to win this. So I did like a 4.5 minute plank. Thank you, but it was stupid because my back was already pulled. So now my back muscle's pulling me this way, my hip flexors are pulling me that way. So the rest of the time I was like, it's really, thank you all for your service. Just, didn't really feel.
Yeah, but it wasn't Phil Collins.
It was not Phil Collins. That it was not. All right, let's go to some non-senior moments. How are you, young lady?
Hi,
What's your name?
Christy.
Christy, Jared, Jensen. Hi.
This is a very big space convention center, and we've seen a lot of heads walking by. So what's the weirdest, like they're carrying?
You've seen a lot of heads walking by?
I'm assuming they were attached to bodies. No.
Because it's a
They have like little legs.
I wanted to know what's the weirdest like convention that you've shared.
This right here, heads walking by or floating by.
Like you didn't see it.
No, I believe you. I'm not blaming you. I'm terrified.
What was the question?
What's the weirdest like space you shared a convention with? Like there's this one where the hair convention's going on. There was one in Minneapolis.
Yeah, the hero was here.
Shared with Harry's,
I see. What's the oddest shared space?
Yes.
That to be honest, we don't normally share space, but
Birmingham, you do. With the
did we really? Oh, that's right. There was a furry convention going on. That's right.
That's strange. I do recall,
Don't
I
you besmirch
legit do
furries.
recall, I think probably around like 2009, 2010, when we were just really starting to go around more. I think our first one with Creation was Chicago 07 or something. Anyways, in the first couple of years where the Supernatural audience was still very niche, you know, there was no Netflix yet, Twitter and stuff didn't really exist in the same sense they do. We ended up in a convention room, and there was like a doctor convention a couple of doors down. And I think some of them got lost, you know? And so they walked into a room where the questions were like, hey, when you were killing that person as Lucifer, what were you thinking inside? And I was like, well, it was just fun because I got to kill them without having to touch them. And so you see like physicians walk in and be like, where am I? Back out slowly, just a couple doors down. So we often joke that if you don't know what Supernatural is, you've never seen the show, and some of the questions are like, what was your favorite monster to kill? You're like, dude, when we killed the Rougarou, remember like getting his guts out? People are like, where am I? Why are there heads walking by? So I think that one sticks out to me. I'm gonna spend the rest of the day looking for floating heads.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Not talking heads.
Hi there.
Hi, I'm Sarah,
No, it's on.
and I'm from San Luis Obispo, California. Oh, it's not there. Okay, so my question for you guys, I'm curious, if you were in the Freaky Friday situation of body swapping with each other, what are some of the first things that you would do? Yes, you too.
Okay, so this, some people know this, some people don't. Swap meet, was it called Swap meet? Where I become like Gary? That was initially, there's a treatment for an episode where we body swapped. It was Sam and Dean. And there was a full-on, like, I think I'm in Dean's body, and there's like a Saturday Night Fever disco dance contest. It was pretty wacky. And then I think as they started developing it, I think somebody at the network studio was like, you know what, this might be Jumping the Shark. Even though we had already done an episode called Jumping the Shark.
That's right. Didn't they change it though in an effort to? Wasn't it was like mid-season or something, and it was in an effort to give us some time off?
Oh, I don't recall the exact reason.
I feel like I could be wrong, but I feel like that may have been it. And if it was Sam and me that were swapping, then we would be working all day every day. Both of us would, and I think they did it in an effort to split us up. Because that was, they usually would try to make an effort to give us some breaks here and there. And I think that may have been one of the reasons why they were like, ooh, this is a good idea, but they're gonna be working 14 hours all day, every day.
That's a good point. I think that you're correct. I think, so if Jared was body swapping with Jensen, there's probably a different answer, but if Sam body swapped with Dean, he'd probably go to the fridge, throw out all the unhealthy shit, and put in like salads and fruits. Sam, he'd
Get rid of the beer and put kombucha.
Yeah, I like kombucha.
I know.
So I'll go with that for sure.
So you're talking about Sam and Dean, or you're talking about Jensen and Jared?
I was talking about Jared and Jensen.
Okay, interesting.
My fault, Sarah, jeez. God, they're pushy in San Luis Obispo. I'd probably get up and play a concert if I was Jensen.
I would go get my knee surgery.
Okay then.
He ain't lying. What would you do?
And then I would go play any game of pickup basketball there was. I'd just be like,
I pulled that yesterday.
I know. Somebody tried to toss something by Jared, and he just slapped the keys down. It was like, nothing here.
It was car keys, and I think in the group that I hang out with now, but also grew up with, if anything is thrown within the vicinity of one of the friend members, that shit is getting swatted out of the air. Like, don't throw it if it's breakable, don't throw it, not near. Like, people are like jumping over children in strollers to try and knock something in the air.
You did it, I remember, I can't remember what it was, but you did it like in the middle of a scene, and you didn't even mean to do it. It was just so reactionary. I like was tossing Misha something, and you were like, you were like sad, or it was like a depressing scene. I was like, come on, Cass, let's go. And I like tossed something, and you just like, and I remember you immediately regretted it because you knew we had to go again.
I believe it, yeah. It's like keys falling off a table. You just reach for it, without even thinking. Okay, Sarah.
Yeah, there we go.
Turn the tables. If you had to be Jared or Jensen for a day, what would you do? I like.
Let's see. If I was Jared for a day, I would be able to reach anything on the top shelf.
Yeah, clean the top shelf.
Easily.
Clean the cupboards without a step stool. I like it.
And if I was Jensen for a day, I'd get to look in the mirror.
What would you... Wearing what? Soldier
That is the
boy?
question, isn't it?
Shakespeare said best.
Just stare at the mirror.
That's going to be season 16 of Supernatural. Just Jensen. Thank you for coming all the way out here. Thank you for your questions, Adam.
Thank you, guys.
Hello.
Hello. I'm Brittany, and I'm sorry, Jared, I stabbed you with my crown yesterday in our photo op.
It's okay, the doctor was able to sew me right up.
I'm so glad. My question is for both of you. If you both had to rule the world for a day, either together or separately, how would you do so?
Either together or separately. How? We got to rule the world?
These are some questions.
You gotta work for this family.
This is probably a dumb answer, but I just heard a conversation about it. I would make social media not anonymous. Make social media not anonymous.
Social media not anonymous?
Yeah, because I can start like...
Because I heard social media monogamous.
That's what I said. That's the Creole Louisiana. They understand it. No, you'd have to face all the hate. Not you. You don't seem hateful, but I think the world is a nicer place when you're in the elevator with somebody than it is when people are behind a computer. Then I'd eat a bunch of candy. Bunch of candy. I would just eat it.
If you rule the world, you can do that now.
But people say stuff to me on social media anonymously about my candy habits.
You can still lock yourself in your Willy Wonka factory and go nuts if you wanted to. Nobody's gonna know.
Fine, I'll be back.
See you later.
All right, what do you got?
You know what I'd do? I'd force government buildings to play New Orleans style jazz music at all time. I think the world's a better place when there's music involved, but good music.
I like it.
Yeah, that'd be the first thing on my list of many.
Yeah, there are a few. Thank you so much for your question. Hi there.
Hi guys. I am Angela, and I am from Spokane, Washington. Oh. My daughter, she's 5, right? And I don't let her watch
You tell us. Yes?
Yeah. I don't let her watch Supernatural for obvious reasons. But I do let her watch the Scooby-Doo episode, because it's not so terrible. And, she covers her eyes sometimes. What I want to know is if you guys are going to do more voice acting versus screen acting, and if you enjoy it, and what the difference is, kind of.
He's going to have a better answer, so I'll go first. I do enjoy it. There's a difference between doing voice acting when you're trying to match, when the art is already done and you're trying to fit in words. Like the Supernatural anime was...
I feel like you were traumatized by that experience.
Traumatized, because there would be...
Wait, that's why I didn't do it.
Well, you didn't tell me!
I tried!
So it was, the Supernatural anime originally came out in the Japanese language, and so I guess there are some Japanese sentences where the translation is like, Dean, we gotta get right now, we're in trouble, otherwise the Rougarou is on the way down the stairs. But like in Japan, it's like 2 words, like Dean, Rougarou, or whatever, and so I have to try and speak as fast as possible while trying to maintain some semblance of acting to get the translation. I was like, this isn't working, guys. Like, this is not like the way they have to translate. I am not interested in dubbing over something that's already been drawn.
That never happens, or very rarely does that ever happen. The normal process is the voice gets laid down and then the animation gets made to the words.
And that's how we did Supernatural.
Yes.
Yeah. A table read essentially with microphones, and then they painted the characters, or whatever you call it, animated.
Yeah. So yeah, that's. But to answer your question, yes. In fact, I was just talking. I've got to go in and do another recording for a new project on Tuesday. And there is some that I have already done that are being built. They're being animated, so they'll probably be out maybe later this year. But I do enjoy it because it is such a departure from what we normally do and the process that we would do for live action on camera stuff. It is you go in and you deliver the dialogue, but not in a way of like doing a scene with a scene partner. I'm in a booth by myself, none of the other actors are there, so it's really odd when you meet somebody, like, oh, I did a movie with you, I've never met you before. Because you go in and each line of dialogue has a number next to it. So the director could be like, okay, let's skip to line 158, Jensen, let's just give us 3 reads. And I'll just do 3 different variations on that one line. If the line was, hey Jared, come on, let's go out to dinner. Be like, hey Jared, come on, let's go out to dinner. Hey Jared, come on, let's go out to dinner. Jared, come on, let's go out to dinner.
And then I would film my side, which is like, no, I don't like you, Jensen. You don't eat enough,
And then the project would get canceled because it's so bad. Stupid.
We had an ongoing joke about something getting canceled because it's so bad. Not that something got canceled, but so the first several years of Supernatural, I mean all the way through, but especially in the beginning, we started to realize that if they wrote something that was really difficult to do, but we did it over and over again on set after 16 hours, did it well, whether it's stunt sequences or like speaking Latin incantations or something. And this is so difficult, but we do it well, and so they write more of it. And so I had certain parts of what Jared enjoys doing, but didn't want to do it a lot more on Supernatural, so I would maybe, sandbag a little bit. And also, Jensen's really good at Latin incantations, but he's like, I don't want to do these, that's more for Sam. So when they give it to him, he'd be like, Exhort Shazamuste. And I'm like, Jensen, you know how to say this. Like, you haven't known. No. That's exactly. And so then 2 episodes later, when there was a Latin incantation, it was back in this guy's hands.
Yes, to answer your question, I am doing some more voice work. I look forward to do more. It's my dad has made a living off of doing that for most of his career. He does a lot of voiceover commercials and lots of different things. He's kind of he's got a really good thing, and it's hard to get into that part of the industry. It's hard to get into voice work. So yeah, the more that I can do, I find it fun. I like it. I enjoy it.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Angela.
I'm really excited. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi there.
Hi, I'm Nina. So my question is...
You mean,
What?
No.
what do you mean, Norton?
Nina!
I'm Nisa. Come on, y'all. Thank you, I love you.
And all watched the pilot episode of Supernatural when it aired, and I was 11 years old. And even though that episode absolutely terrified me, and I had to sleep with the nightlight on for a year after that, it really fascinated me, and I obviously became a very big fan, and I can't even begin to count the ways that Supernatural has just changed my life, like the experiences I've had and the people that I've met. And for that reason, that pilot episode will always be so memorable to me. And so I want to know, is there an episode of the show that is that for you, that you feel changed your life or meant the most to you guys or is so memorable for you?
Mina, that's awesome. Thank you. That's really special. The short answer is so many. The shorter, but I guess more detailed answer is when Sam was letting his brother know about some struggles he had going on in his head, and Dean supported Sam. I think Jared kind of thought, like, well, shit, I can maybe talk about stuff that's embarrassing or not usually aired, because people can respond non-judgmentally, but being supportive. So, I know Sacrifice is big. For me, the season 8 finale was big. Yeah, there were so many, met my wife on the show, and obviously a lot of those episodes are pretty special. But, I mean, the pilot holds that for me too. The pilot experience was so, I think so there are things in our industry where you have lightning in a bottle, but ultimately it doesn't matter, because if the people who are paying all this money for you to play pretend decide that they want more viewers or different types of viewers or a better streaming situation or whatever, then you can have something great and it gets canceled after an episode or a season or 2 or 3 or whatever. So I feel like, to the best of my recollection, I felt like we had lightning in a bottle, even during the pilot. But it was like, okay, I think this is really friggin' good, but it might not ever get aired. So, and then, 15 years later, we're like, when is the show gonna end? Yeah.
I'll give you two answers. One, what I feel like changed from a show's perspective, and then 2, what I feel like changed from my personal perspective. Because you said it personally changed you, that thing. You slept with the light on, so your electricity bill probably went up from then on. I would say from a personal level, Wendigo, and here's why. That wasn't like one of the amazing episodes of the show, but for us, it was really the first step in our journey together. The pilot was something that we were going to do that had no promise of future. We hoped that it would be picked up, and we hoped that it would turn into a series. When we stepped foot onto the set of Wendigo, we knew that this show was going to see the light of day. We knew that we were going to have multiple episodes, and we knew that this journey that we were about to embark on was going to happen. And we didn't know how long it was going to happen, but we knew that there was at least a journey to be had. So I think that changed that's an episode that changed personally. And then from a show's perspective, there's dozens that I could probably choose from. I'll say Lazarus Rising, because it was the moment when our show expanded our universe into heaven and hell. And I think that was a big kind of, oh, wow.
Thank you, Mina. Good to see you after all these years.
What?
I said thank you, Mina. Good to still see you after all these years.
Don't listen to that.
No, more than that. No. I meant it legit. Thank you, Mina.
Hi there.
Hi, y'all. My name's Grace. I have to say thanks for coming, because it took you guys coming here for my aunt to finally come visit me in New Orleans. She wanted to see y'all, but I'll take it.
I love family reunions.
Right
That's
there.
awesome.
Hi, Auntie.
But my question kind of goes with what y'all were saying. So what's the best and or worst thing about being on such a long-running TV show?
I can't really think of a worst. I mean, I think the...
I can't.
I think the sacrifices, if we can call them that, are pretty obvious, you know, long hours, and because we both live in Texas, and our families live in Texas, and we were shooting in Vancouver. Yeah, thank you. Go Texas, go Vancouver as well. That was rough, you know, it was rough being away from family, but, you know, I just spent a week in Poland with people who are away from their families for 9 months at a time, so I'm certainly not bitching, I'm just saying that was kind of, you know, there's a toll on your body. I had surgery on my wrist and went back to work the next day and, you know, broken this and broken that, and you're kind of run down and beat, but on the other side of it, whether that's the next day or when you get home and take a shower and go like, oh, that day's done, like the feeling of letting your head hit the pillow after a really hard-ass day at work, there's nothing like it. Best would be making lifelong friendships and relationships with everybody on stage right now, obviously my wife, and I feel like the cast and crew of Supernatural, if I had to go to Vancouver tomorrow, I'd be texting everybody, like, hey, can we go for a walk? Can we get a beer? Can we go to dinner? Can we do something? And I feel like I didn't get to go to Vancouver. I got COVID the day I was supposed to fly out, so I couldn't cross international boundaries, so I didn't get to have the reunion that Ackles and a lot of the other gang did. But I feel like it would be as if no time passed. How's the family? How's blah, blah, blah? So, yeah. The friendships, the relationships is the best. And they take sacrifice, you know?
I'd say worst part was, for being on a show that long, was the walking away. If you're on a show for a season, or 2 seasons, or even 3 seasons, it's much easier to walk away from that than it was to walk away from 15 years of, like you said, relationships and love and laughter and friends and family. Not just walking away from that set and those people that made that set, but also walking away from a story and characters that we had truly grown to love. But I will say that that was also the best part, was being able to build that family and build that set and build those relationships and journey with a character and journey with friends and family for that amount of time. That was the best part. Hardest part was walking away from it.
Thank you, Grace.
Good afternoon. Hi, I'm Alice. This is going to take a moment to explain. I noticed a couple of months ago that whenever I'm fixing anything around the house, I start whistling the theme to Peter and the Wolf, and I realized the reason that I do that is because my dad always did that when I was growing up. So that got me wondering, what non-hunting related habits and quirks do you think Sam and Dean inherited from John?
The voice. I think Sam fought a lot against turning into who John was for him. And there's something, having 3 children and talking to other parents, every kid is born into a different family. You know, like for instance, Jen and I had Tom, and Tom was our everything. Either she was with him or I was with him, he was young. But then we had Shep a couple years later, but Shep now had a brother. So Shep didn't have undivided attention from mom and dad like Tom did, but he had a brother to play with, especially now like these days. No debt, again, years after that. She had 2 older brothers, and her parents were older. So I think the John that Sam got was different than the John that Dean got, if for no other reason than the fact that Dean's first 3 or 4 years were with mom still. You know, Sam didn't have that. So I think Sam put up a facade. I think he takes after his father and his brother in many ways, but I think he kind of tried not to emulate, you know. I still can't help it, but I think that's probably the best way I can explain what I thought Sam was.
Yeah, definitely the voice for Dean. Also maybe some driving skills. But I would say on a more serious level, maybe the sense of, or the willingness to sacrifice oneself for the ones that you love. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Alice, what is the Peter and the Wolf again? I know it, but I can't think of it. Fine, take your time.
Bear with me, I haven't done this in a while, so.
Got it, perfect. Thank you, well done.
Jensen, it's like,
Hi there.
I don't know either.
Well, that's going to be in my head for the rest of the day.
I'm Jan from Oklahoma, and because the Impala is very important to me, I would love to hear some stories about the finale of the Winchesters and Meg driving baby and that whole experience about getting the car back on the show.
Yeah, and Robbie knew that he wanted to make that happen at the for the finale quite a while before we broke that story. So it was it was something to try to spice up that season finale. They try to do that just about on every show, whether it's bringing back a familiar character or bringing in, paying for a very expensive song, which we also did. No kidding, Kripke called me, he's like, how did you get Zeppelin? And I was like, name your kid Zeppelin and get some Zeppelin. So we knew we wanted to somehow incorporate the car. Obviously, I was on the docket to come back and to in my capacity, and then we were also like, well, we should get some other familiar faces. Luckily, Jim was available and Alex was available. Misha offered, but I said no. It's true. It's like, I'll come back, I'm not doing anything. And I was like, oh, it's okay. He was so hurt. He's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, we're good. But good looking out.
Love you, man, hope you're well.
There's a reason for that, but I can't get into that. If we get to go, depending on the future of the show, I'll let you know sometime. That being said, getting the car back over there was something that we knew we were going to do, and so when we did, and then I saw the script, and I was like, oh, Meg's going to drive it. That's good. Didn't she just get her driver's license last week? She grew up in New York, bro. She doesn't need a driver's license. She learned to drive this year. Last year. So luckily, Meg is a skilled performer, but also she's an extremely talented singer and dancer, so she's very athletic, so she has really good spatial awareness, and she's got good motor skills, which are a necessity when you're driving a giant car. Motor skills, shut up.
Yes, he did.
So
she did say that she could barely reach the pedals.
Well, that's her fault. She is height deprived. But when I was just like, okay, don't mess this up. I didn't know that if anything ever happened to it, the car was immediately going back to a shop and getting fixed. So, but she did great, and I'm glad that it worked out that way. And I was really proud of what everybody did in that finale, and I think it turned out really well. It's something I'm very proud of.
Hello there.
Hi, my name's Leah. My question is for both of you. If Baby was possessed Christine style and had to be put down, what would Sam's last words be to Baby, and what would Dean's last words be to Baby?
If Baby was possessed,
Christine style.
Christine style.
It would be Misha because you told him he couldn't be in your show.
I don't like this line of questioning.
I think Sam would probably be like, hey baby, can you just hold here for a second? I'm gonna go try and find Crowley to put him in the trunk before we take care of business. I think Sam would be like, all right, get up to heaven and wait for my brother.
You ever see Marley and Me? When Owen Wilson has to put down Marley?
Actually, I refuse to watch that movie because I know it's going to be really sad.
Too soon.
That's how it would go with Dean. There would be tears and probably him somehow uttering the words, "I'm so sorry, baby."
Thank you.
Here's a really quick side note, thank you. But we were on a flight to Australia or something 10, 15 years ago. Close to 15, I think. And Jensen and Daniela and I were all sitting near each other, but I could see their faces. Like we were somewhere in the situated where I was facing one direction and they were facing the other direction. And I look up at some point in the flight and I look over and they both have headphones on, like they're watching a movie on the like in-flight entertainment, and they're both complete wrecks. And I'm like, oh shit, they just got into a fight. Like, I don't know what's going on. I've never seen a human being able to cry like that. And so we all land, and I'm like...
But it's you know that like just you're staring at the screen and the tears are just like... Just rolling, but your eyes aren't blinking and you're just still staring at the screen. You're both watching Marley and Me.
They were watching Marley. And I was like,
it's terrible!
You little wiener. So on the flight back, a week later, I watched it and sang. I was like,
I look over and I'm like,
Diana, I'm watching Marley and Me. Yeah, it's amusing. Yeah. Anyways, don't watch it. It's a great movie, don't watch it.
yeah, no. If you've ever had a dog in your life, don't watch that movie.
Ever.
Thanks a bunch. Hi.
Hi, I'm Laura from Mainville, Louisiana, and I wanted to know if there was ever a possibility you might do a movie, a supernatural movie that could end up in the theaters.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes. I would about this. Yes.
But here's the question. What would you rather do? A limited series, like 8 episodes, hour long, hour and a half long, or a movie, if it had to come down to that?
Yes.
Yeah, we kind of joked, you know, when we walked away from Supernatural, it wasn't goodbye, it was see you later. And we kind of looked at each other all the while like going, okay, don't think about it too much because we'll talk again in 2025. We'll talk again in 2025. We'll talk again in 2025. So that was kind of like our little, like, don't get too sad, we'll talk about it again, you know. So, talk to us in 2025.
Yeah, we did. We said 5 years. We said, well, let's take 5 years. Let's put her, you know.
Sykes already had 3 movies.
Put it away for a minute, and then talk in 5 years about what it's going to look like and how we bring it back out. Obviously, there are a lot of people that need to be involved in those conversations. There's a lot of legalities and business affair people that need to be brought in, but you know, obviously they can't do it without. So it's definitely something that we will be talking about in a couple of years. Maybe sooner.
Maybe sooner. We might both be unemployed right now. Thank you for your question. How are you?
Hi, I'm Rebecca. My question is for Jensen, well, Dean. If somebody stole
Wait.
the Impala,
Wait.
All right.
okay, if somebody stole the Impala, what would you do?
Murder the shit out of him. Rebuild?
You ever seen John Wick? All 4 movies. All 4 of them rolled into one. Something like that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted to hear?
Yeah.
She wanted to hear Marley.
She wanted to hear Marley and me. No, sorry, what?
I was good with anything, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think, yeah, if somebody stole Baby, then yeah, Dean would go a little nuts. I think. Yeah, he would get it back, get Baby back, no matter what the cost.
Right. Now the scene where Sam asked you that, was that your answer improv? Was it just something that you did yourself, you said yourself, or was it written? When you said murder, I'd murder them all.
That was improv, I believe. I think there was a couple of lines. I believe that one was an ad lib. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
It's good to know my answer hasn't changed much. Murder them all. John Wick, all 4 of them, all 4 movies. Oh, jeez. Hi.
Hi, I'm Trisha from Texas. I'm a little nervous. First of all, Jensen, I love your new album, Ramblin' On. It's awesome.
Thank you.
It has a great country. My question is, I grew up on a farm in Texas, and in Gen X we had 3 channels. My entertainment was TV. And I used to watch some shows when I was a little kid and pretend I was one of the characters. And I want to know, when y'all are little kids, was there a TV show that you really got into and you used to act out like you were one of the characters in that TV show?
Yeah.
Zach Morris.
Home Improvement.
If you say Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas. I'm not kidding. That was, so he was the same age as, I guess we're the same age, and so all the girl, like, I must have been 10 or whatever when it came out. 12.
And you're so close because JTT and
JTP. I went by JT in school for like I was starting to have crushes on girls, and they all had Jonathan Taylor Thomas, like Trapper Keepers and posters in their locker room, and I was like, damn it, that would be
How
awesome.
many Jonathan Taylor Thomas Trapper Keepers did you have?
All of them. I didn't have any, but I liked the show anyways. I thought it was really funny, and I liked the idea of the brothers, and I wanted to be an actor when I was a kid. I don't know what happened, but I wanted to act, and that's just what popped in my head. I always thought I would love to have been one of the brothers on Home Improvement. It didn't have to be Jonathan, but that was just kind of who all the girls were fawning over.
Mine was not Jonathan Taylor Thomas. That's right. Did they all have 3 names? All 3 of those kids? Went by 3 names? That's a good question. I'm trying to think of some of the shows that were on back in the. I mean, I remember.
Which Golden Girl did you want to be?
Blanche. It's funny because the character's name is Sam from Cheers. We watched that a lot, and I just thought that character I don't know. He was kind of the world kind of revolved around him a little bit. Not to say that that's what I wanted, but I was like, yeah, I want to be the guy in the middle making it all happen. Like, I want to be fixing the bar. I want to be making the drinks. I want to, I want to be the one that's, everybody knows my name. Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. See? And you always have to care. That's it. You want to be, no, that's it. Jared's like,
What's going on?
This is like me and Swap Meet, or this is like, I'm doing a concert as Jensen. Just
Wait, what?
right.
find my place there.
Anyway, yeah, I could probably think about it longer and come up with some other ideas, but that one,
Can't do that on television.
that one's good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi there.
Hi, my name's Taylor, and I wanted to ask, like all the shows you guys acted in, was Supernatural your favorite? And if so, what was your favorite part about working with the cast? What was your favorite episode? And as Dean and Sam always tell us favorite quotes that they did.
Gosh, it's Supernatural our favorite to work on. It was the first one of all the stuff we worked on. I feel like every emotion I've ever had in my life, I've had at some point in time during Supernatural. So it's certainly the most complete. It's like, which child is your favorite? Like, well, come on now.
Yeah, but
it was great. I fell in love, met some friends. I got to do everything as Sam. I played every friggin' version of Sam you could. From your soul's too big to you don't have one, to you're an angel, you're a demon, this and that. You're dead, you're alive again. So it was awesome to explore, and it was, in a sense, especially in the beginning, it was nice that we weren't in Los Angeles. Because Vancouver, we basically went to work, went home, went to bed, woke up, went to work, went home, went to bed. Every now and again we'd get off early enough to go get a steak somewhere and watch some sports, but it was a lot of work, and we weren't distracted by the next red carpet event in Los Angeles, and this and that. We just kind of were loving the process. I forget your other questions.
Favorite line.
Oh, what kind of house doesn't have salt? That's a fun one.
I think it's easy to make an argument for why Supernatural has been my favorite project to work on, and it's simply because I got to do it the longest without. I can probably, and this is crazy because you work on a show for 15 years, you would imagine that there would be plenty of negative aspects to it that would maybe reveal themselves or whatever. I venture to say that there was the least amount of drama or problems or issues on Supernatural other than any other project I've ever worked on. And to have that for as long as I did, that's my favorite. It's the same reason I say that JJ's my favorite child. And my wife's like, you can't say that. I'm like, yeah, no, I've known her the longest. Now, that's joking, funny, haha, but that in reality is probably more why Supernatural, I would say that that's my favorite. It's because I knew it the longest. I truly did. And I got to know it the deepest and most kind of, I was the most engaged with that than I ever have been with any other project. Line-wise, oof, Dean's had a few.
That's a word, that's not a line. I heard pudding.
You know what, I'll go with one, the first one that comes to my mind. That was scary.
Thank you for the question.
All right. I think that means it's time for the last question. They played this little ditty. Rob tries to sing something weird, and we have the last question. There's not going to be any more questions. This is it. Is there
please say hi to Tristan. She is from Thibodeau. That's not a real place. She just made that up. Thibodeau?
Thibodeau?
Oh, Thibodeau.
Thibodeau.
It's about an hour from here. We're going to end as Louisiana as possible.
That's it.
Thibodeau.
How you doing?
Tristan, I like your name. I should borrow it as my middle name.
It is your middle name.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to borrow it back.
What?
I'm letting her borrow it. She's
Stop talking.
So say hi to your SPN fam and tell us what you would like to ask.
Well, first off, Jared, I would like to ask, when are you going to bring your wife to see us?
Yeah, Jared.
That sounds like an awesome idea, but then who's going to watch the kids? Okay, fine. As soon as possible. Honest to God, as soon as possible.
Now, if Jen happened to be here, what would you ask her?
When are you going to go back home?
I haven't gotten that far yet. I just want to tell her that I love her.
Oh, thank you. I love her as well. Thank you.
All right, that was the easiest last question we've ever had.
My real last question is, what was either your favorite or most memorable episode to film?
Yes!
That was great.
Was that your question?
I think most memorable is a little more difficult to answer because there's so many. There's the pilot, there's the finale, there's the sacrifice. I think I for favorite, and maybe just because she's in my head, because you just asked it, but French Mistake was pretty fucking wild. I mean, they did the giant Warhol, like it was bizarre. What's a Padalecki? The acting with the... That was a lot of fun. If you told me that I was going to be a professional actor when I was a kid, I'd have been like, I hope so, but I don't believe it. B, if you told me like one day you're going to be paid to do something with a bunch of people you love, for a story you love, where it's going to be Jared Padalecki playing Sam Winchester, playing Jared Padalecki, playing Sam Winchester, I'd be like, I don't even understand what that means. So I don't think I'll ever have a chance to do anything similar to that again, so I'll go with French Mistake.
I can't remember the name of this episode, but it was an episode where we took down Chuck, and we left him like laying on the ground, and he was like crawling, and he's like, guys, wait! And I just,
That's a great impersonation, first of all. That's a great Rob editing.
Hi, Rob.
I appreciate all the cheers for me. Thank you. Lots of fans out here. Yeah, no, that was great. That was great. That was also the episode where I got to beat both of you up. Super fun. But yeah, no, that's a lot of people's favorites, really.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
That was good. What was it called? In the End?
Inherit the Earth.
In the Air?
Inherit the Earth.
Inherit the Earth.
The penultimate episode of Supernatural.
Not really.
That's also when we shot the Brave Alecki.
That's right, exactly.
That was Padalecki.
Yeah, on the beach there. That was super fun, actually.
That was a good couple of days.
That was also not only a good couple of days, but backstory, it was a good couple of weeks because we were all quarantining for 2 weeks in Vancouver leading up to it. So we would Zoom and FaceTime and just, they're like...
Those are some of the best cocktail hours we've ever had.
Yeah. Cocktail hours.
It was the three of us and Jake were all quarantined in separate units, and Jake and I were on top of each other.
Yeah, you were.
Different units. Wait.
Well, they are different units. I had a really big one. God, I can't even. But
That's what she said.
I don't know how to dig myself out of this hole.
Great episode, super fun.
Great episode, great times, great crowd, great SPN family here. Thank you, Tristan. Thank you, SPN Nola.